I'm in the right place. Okay, I can actually see it. If somebody would to join me, it would become clear. Oh, there they are.
Well, well, well.
We meet again, Mr. Green.
How are you? Wow.
Oh, we're just fine. Hank, how are you? How long have you been doing this for?
Oh, this shift has been. I just started my 4th hour, so not that long.
Not that bad. Not that bad. I was really enjoying the They Might Be Giants concert. I've been hanging out, listening to your tunes for the last half hour. I brought out my guitar and was playing with you silently.
That's very cute.
I listen to Flood all the time. Bangers, beginning to end. Incredible album. It's just all bangers. Blue Canary in the Alley by the Light Switch.
They've been doing this thing where they tour, where they actually just do Flood shows, where they just play the whole album all the way through. And I've desperately been trying to go to one of them. But it's been a mess because I don't know if you heard, but live events were weird there for a while. Good, similar nods, you two. Very well done. It's good to see you both. Sam, that's and Brennan. Wow, great nerd shelves. Just good work.
You know, it's just a prerequisite of being in this line of work. I think you at one point said, Hank, and you're right. You want to feel like a wizard with the spoils of their adventures.
Yeah,
back behind you.
I do. Are you kidding right now? That's literally the wonderful carpenter who made these shelves. They're made from rescue lumber in Los Angeles. So city trees that have to come down, they get the lumber for them, and then you can get it's rescue lumber. The carpenter Ian Owens, incredibly talented carpenter, he said, "What do you want your shelves to look like?" And I was like, "Well, my aesthetic is wizard chic, so I would love them to look kind of wizardly." And literally, this is what happened. I described the shelves I wanted, and I said, "Do you know Vince Guaraldi's Christmas Jazz?" And
oh my God, of course.
And I was like, the great thing, it's the best. It was like the great thing about Vince Guaraldi's Christmas Jazz, because if you love Christmas like me, but you have dear loved ones that are Grinches, that are not about Christmas, you can't just be playing, Hark the Herald Angels Sings. They'll catch wise to that, and they'll say, P.U., no thank you. But if you put on a little Vince Guaraldi, all the Christmas heads in the crowd, they go, oh, sick, Christmas music. And the people that are not that into Christmas go, some jazz. And that is it's like a stealth Christmas
really thing. Some for everybody.
And I said, give me the shelves that do that, what Vince Guaraldi music does, but for being a nerd. And he went, got it, wizard who fucks. And that's what he said.
That's very weird. One of my favorite things in the world is to try and direct a contractor or freelancer the way that I would like a person reading a novel, where I want you to understand this, but without like in a way that's going to be more clear than if I just said it exactly. Which I get to do with when I work with designers all the time, and it does feel very good. But I did do that. I made a TikTok where I said I want to feel like a wizard surrounded by the sort of spoils of my many adventures, and I found a designer on TikTok who was like, "Yeah, I could do that for you," and I have a whole thing, and this was like the last thing I wanted to do in this office before I actually redesigned this place. So we'll see how it turns out.
You're looking at this very narrow slice of my bookshelf, and if I turn it one way or the other, it's going to get creepy for two different reasons. If I turn it this way,
a bunch of pictures of me.
You see Elaine's wigs.
Now, come on. Now that's quite frightening. You can't be doing that.
And then if I turn it the other way, I'm not sure you'll see this. You'll see my card magic hobby. I guess you can't see it quite. You do see a life size or larger than life size.
Very, very large picture of a dog.
But there are like 100 packs of cards back there.
Wow.
This is the civilized view.
I should say that we've been joined by Brennan Lee Mulligan and Sam Reich. Brennan is they both work on things at College Humor and Dropout TV. Brennan is maybe the best living dungeon master, and Sam's in charge of stuff. Look, second, third best. I don't know. I don't want you to get your head too big, but you're very
late.
good.
Too late. I'm taking to the bank. You heard it here first, folks. I know what I'll be clipping and sending to my mom. So there you go.
And we did just hit a goal, I believe. We did. We just hit $630,000, which means I have to go. I have to go get a balloon from the ceiling and pop it.
That's a major chunk of change, everybody.
It is.
It's a lot of money.
Caitlin asks if this is pre-recorded. It's not. This is happening live. Anything could happen.
Where are you reading chat at? Where's that happening?
I got dual.
ProjectRossi.com/live is where you want to go.
Oh, my computer is so sad. I better not blow it up another window.
Brennan, we can upgrade your computer, my man. You just say the word.
It's fine.
Just say the word. Hank just said I'm in charge of stuff.
Nah, we're good.
Okay.
Nah, we're good. Ooh, balloon.
I'm gonna pop it and see what my task is. It says, pretend to be a cute little housefly. You have to do a good job.
This is the crab all over again.
Yeah, you remember the crab?
What is
this? It said crab, but then it got crossed out and said cute little housefly. You can't really see it because it was written in Sharpie. But that was my brother's suggestion for what I should do.
Pretend
So
to
I
be
don't
a
really
house.
know. I don't really know how to do that. A cute little housefly. I feel like I need to. I feel like I need a whole other setup for the camera. So we're gonna go this way.
Oh wow!
Hold on. Sorry, I should have done this before I. Sorry, let's go back to that. I got prep on nails on too, so it's really hard.
Do you? I just want to say the instruction, you have to do a good job. That's very charged. I feel like
totally 100%.
I feel like if someone was giving me a series of instructions and on like the 7th one, they were like, and this one you have to do it well. I would be like,
it'd be so much nicer if it was just, you have to give it an honest try.
Yeah, I have to do a good job. Which isn't great. Knee hurts pretty bad, and I feel like housefly requires a lot of knee.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I have no ability to anticipate how you're going to do this housefly.
We're both leaning back with our drinks. We're just barely
participating. This is really knee-heavy house. Oh, it landed. Oh, yes, that's good.
That's very good.
That's really good. The little scoot, they do that. Oh, there he goes. He's flying again.
He's going around.
And he lands. Oh.
Wow.
There he goes. Why are they always doing that?
This is great, Hank.
This is really good. And it does involve a lot of knee. There's a lot of knee going.
He's in a huge amount of pain. He's going to need surgery after this, but it will have been worth it.
We can see just Hank's butt as he super commits to the physicality of the bit. That is commitment, folks. Give this man his damn. He's back!
It's over, but it's not. This is the encore.
This was my favorite scene from The Fly with Jeff Goldblum.
Remember that unbroken shot of Jeff Goldblum wandering on and off frame?
Remember the security cam footage of him? Yeah, for sure.
Scenes of The Fly.
For sure.
My ass muscles were really tired.
That'll do
they should do that in CrossFit.
That was kind of a breakthrough, Hank. You know, like that's a new type of observational comic. You know, that is a science observational comic. Looking at the behavior of a fly and translating it that way.
Really,
thank you.
Breaking it down. Hank, you're a scientific-minded fella. Why do flies do that little dance when they're down on something?
They're looking around. They're sniffing.
They're just sniffing.
They want to see what's there.
Zach Oyama has a patented. Zach Oyama.
It's always going to be something good when it starts. Zach Oyama.
Zach Oyama has a patented fly catching technique that he introduced into the Dimension 20 Dome that it changed everything. Nothing was the same. You can mark the calendar pre and post. And all it is clapping above where the fly is. And like a nice couple inches above, not just right above, but basically flies see the movement, they go always straight up. And when you clap above where they're going to go, you nail them every time. It's wild.
Wow.
You nail them every time. Yep.
You're like Mr. Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi. Exactly.
That's how he does it.
I believe we have this on camera. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, we may have Zach catching a fly one-handed.
Yes.
On camera.
Zach's unreal. Zach's on some next level. He's figured out a whole system. But that was like a basic one of the, fly catching 101 that he was kind enough to impart. And to everyone watching at home, try it out in your fly catching. And tweet at the three of us and let us know. Make sure to tag all three of us on Twitter and let us know how your fly catching is going. For sure.
Excellent. It's a pleasure to see both of you. So we started this today at noon. So we've only been going for 12 hours. I've got a little countdowner. Oh, that's not facing the right way anymore. A little clock counting down.
Oh,
so
wow.
we know we've got 33 hours left, you guys.
Oh, baby.
Wow. That's a lot of hours.
I mean, I guess here's a question for you, Hank. Just, you've been doing this for several years. I understand this is year 14 or something like that. Did I get it?
16, if you can believe that.
At what point is it going to be enough? At what point are you just going to say to yourself, I've done all the good I have to do in the world? What drives you back here to do fly impressions year after year?
It's you being like, I liked your They Might Be Giants, and then both of you complimenting my fly. It's really all about that. It's all about feeling like someone liked something I did.
Just a little, you're saying just a little affirmation is really all it takes to keep you going. You don't need a lot. It's
absolutely not.
A little
no, I don't. I think I'm not happier when I ask questions like that.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Like, is that all right? Sometimes I feel like people really think that it's best to really know what's driving you at any given moment. And I'm like, the more, like, if I look, I get very confused. I think I never know the answer.
I think that's admirable in its genuineness.
Yeah.
Because I think, really truly the reasoning behind most things that I do is that if I didn't do them, I would be bored.
Yeah.
I believe it was Socrates.
Be more bored this weekend without this.
Yeah. I believe it was Socrates who said, whatever you're doing, don't think about it too hard. Don't sweat it. Just pump the brakes. Relax. Okay.
Yeah. We're all moths flying toward the light. Don't ask why you need to be at the light.
Totally.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna figure out why you're doing stuff. That and $250 gets you a ride on the ancient Athenian subway, my guy. Exactly.
I think, therefore, simmer down.
Therefore,
I don't need to think quite so much.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a ton of horrifying psychological research into people like given prompts subconsciously that affect their memory, and the fact that we provide X like ex post facto justifications for things that we didn't experience. So you have someone giving eyewitness testimony. There's a big picture of a guy in a green jacket on the way into the room that they're testifying in. Someone will say, hey, this person you saw, what color was their jacket? And they'll go, oh, it's definitely green. You know, like they'll have that sort of like subconscious prompting in it or whatever. But specifically, there's one that had to do with people having like having a type of lack of sight in one eye where they were still getting the visual information but couldn't read it consciously, but could unconsciously get the data. So you could split their field of vision and put up a picture that was like, that would say an imperative like walk down the hallway right now. Walk down the hall right now. And they wouldn't be able to clock it in their conscious brain, but they would get up and start going. And here's where it gets freaky. The scientist would say, why are you going? And the person would say something like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom, or I left a sandwich there, or like, oh, I think my car might be weird. Meaning that the part of your brain that's in charge, the conscious part, sometimes is just stalling for its boss, the subconscious brain. That it's like, let me just get a reason for this thing that was total impulse to do in the first place. And if that don't make you take a long sip of peppermint tea, I don't know what will.
Oh, well, peppermint tea.
I think it's, you know, it makes you realize that all of these enlightenment philosophers were operating with a really incomplete set of data, despite the fact that they lived inside of a human consciousness. Like you'd think that we'd be really good at understanding what it's like in here, but we're okay at it. But don't expect to get the best data just because you happen to have actual unfettered access to a single human consciousness.
I agree with that. I feel like there's proximity bias and distance bias in terms of people being like, well, I have such a remove from this thing that surely my impartial perspective on the thing I'm so far away from will help me. And then there's the whole like David Foster Wallace fish thing about the two young fish swimming around and an old fish saying, hey boys, how's the water? And the two fish being like, what's water? Right? Because it's just the thing you've been in your proximity to it means that it's invisible to you. So maybe you can't know anything. I was a philosophy major.
I've heard this one, and then one fish turns to the other and says, holy shit, a talking fish. That's the way that joke goes, right? I dropped out of high school.
We're all on our own journey of meaning.
I'm not. I'm on someone else's. I got to get out of there.
I think a lot of us actually are on someone else's journey of meaning. And I don't mind. I'll coast on somebody else's journey of meaning for a while. I think that actually sounds nice. I trust other people more than I trust myself anyway.
100%. Not everybody wants to be in charge, and that's very understandable.
I've gotten all of the nails off, but this one is really stubborn. And
is that? There you go. I like it. I think it's stylish. It's very I think it's a good vibe. I like the vibe of that nail. So you said $630,000, and this is we're in the first half of the campaign, so this is for two charities specifically, correct?
Yeah. So right now we're raising money for Save the Children and Partners in Health. So that money will get split roughly evenly. Then there were also some matching some people who did matching grants. And so that brings us to a total of $1.7 million. We also raised some money before the project starts. So we just hit 1.7, which is why I did the fly task. That's why I popped that balloon. And there's a bunch of other balloons on the ceiling, and I imagine that we'll get to them tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to do any more tonight. I'm worried about my knee. I don't know why it hurts.
What's going on with your knee there, bud? I mean,
well, Brennan, do you remember when I called you months ago, and I was like, I just fell down ice skating, and I think I messed my knee up. It's still that, but it's been feeling much better. But I think I've just been like sitting around and like crossing my legs has been quite bad today. So I need to be doing something.
I'm similar. I messed up my lower back, my tailbone, and I'm recuperating from that right now. The fine viewers at home, who thank you for supporting Project for Awesome and watching the stream, they can't see that I have a little heating pad right under my keister that's keeping my tailbone all nice and warm and cozy. It sucks. Computer chair posture is not great. Whatever part of you've hurt, being at a computer does not help.
No.
I'm sort of curious what chairs we're looking at here, Brennan. What's going on behind you? Is that like an orthopedic number, or is that
This is the cheapest chair that IKEA offers, and it's
Brennan, you gotta once again say yourself, man.
You work for the company where I work, and you have a
sure.
good sense of what's going on in the bank accounts, and you know what we could do for you. You know,
100%. Great point. Let me tell you, man, and I hear that, and that is so moving. And I own 4 shirts, 1 chair, and a 2007 Hyundai Elantra, and the sun visor came off.
Yes, as the proud owner of a 2016 Honda Fit, I'm right there with you.
You're right there with me.
Let me tell you something. You go for it, but I'm just going to share with you my chair.
Oh, the Banana Loca's back!
Yes. Whoa! What does Sam have?
That hasn't changed my life.
That my knee hurts just looking at that.
No, this is
that
beautiful.
Looks straight up like a Jim Henson alien leader. If you just started flapping like the hello, welcome to Alpha Centauri, that straight up it's like a puppet.
It's a puppet that'll save your thighs.
I was gonna say, I truly, I am currently in the process of getting married, and the amount of expense that a large wedding with large families is so staggering. And then I will walk into my bathroom and continue to scrape the toothpaste to the end of the tube. I don't throw out a tube of toothpaste until that thing is like the subtle knife.
It's begging to die.
It is a truly 2-dimensional plane by the time it is thinner than paper. It is a subatomic thickness.
It's like you could fold it more than 7 times.
Yeah, easily, no questions. Ooh, now what's happening here over on Hank's camera is so nasty and so vile.
I don't even begin. Like it's a little late, and I'm not convinced that I'm interpreting correctly what's happening here.
You know what, Sam? As someone who used to stay up for days on end, watching a man pick up one bean at a time with his thumb and index finger is a sleep deprivation hallucination come to life. 100%.
Thank you for confirming my suspicions.
Yeah, 100%. Oh my God. So, Hank.
Yeah, earlier I tried to stuff some beans into a hollowed out pickle with a banana loca, but only bean sauce came through because the bean sauce, of course, has a much lower friction because it could just move around whatever
viscosity
corner it wants. So I need to stuff the bean, the little ovipositor here full of bean so that the pickle fills with bean rather than it's bean sauce. And that way...
you're being intentionally upsetting with ovipositor. You know that you're making it worse with ovipositor.
I want to say that there are 3 intelligent human beings on this video chat.
But there may be 2 and 1 space alien. And which one of us is it?
Sam's chair. Yeah. Oh God. Last time did you have Dr. Pepper flavored beans?
Yeah. So this time as well.
How many Dr. Pepper flavored beans do you have?
I have 2 cans at the moment.
Sweet and sassy.
Sassy?
Yeah, sweet and sassy. They taste like Dr. Pepper. Like, not a lot. Not as much as the Dr. Pepper Peeps. The Dr. Pepper Peeps taste more like Dr. Pepper than the Dr. Pepper beans do.
Oh, God.
Is Dr. Pepper sponsoring the Project for Awesome? Do you love
I
Dr.
wish.
Pepper?
We're trying it. We'll get there someday, Brennan.
The 16th annual Project for Awesome, brought to you by Dr. Pepper's sweet and sassy baked beans.
Dr. Pepper, it's in the back of the fridge.
Dr. Pepper, we're the bean people.
We want to be known as the bean people now.
We've decided to change. You thought we were the flavor of soda that doesn't taste like anything, but actually we're the bean people now. So here we go with this.
Oh no! You had a corn dog last time. That's a pickle.
Yeah, it's gonna be way worse.
Have you not done this yet tonight? Is this off? Is this his number one?
No, I tried it earlier, but it didn't work.
Oh God. Okay, you've got the corer. You've cored your pickle.
Oh, there's.
Oh, don't do it on camera. It's so upsetting. It's violent.
There's just so many instruments involved in this.
Banana Loca does have a lot of steps. It's pretty weird.
But it's all worth it when you get to the end and you've done whatever the Banana Loca actually wants you to do. It's all worth it at the end, you know?
The true monster is not the Sam Chair, but the Banana Loca. Whoa, fuck!
What just happened?
Pickle,
Dr. Pepper beans going everywhere.
Pickle, beans. The ovipositor is full of beans now. So I think Peyton's gone to bed. She's the one who really wanted me to do this. So hopefully she gets to watch later. And I should push, and the pickle should just start moving out on its own when I start to really give it a push.
This feels like the opposite of ASMR, you know, like something that's supposed to be like
comforting.
Oh no.
Oh God, this is hell. Oh God. Hank,
I did it.
This is so free. Now don't. Okay, you proved your point. Now put that away. Don't eat that on camera.
Put it away.
I didn't do a good job. The first time when I did it, I did it and I didn't do a good job, and it wasn't very good because there wasn't any beans in it. And I think it'll be better if there's actually beans in it.
Oh no!
Let's put a little bit more bean juice in there.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I'm drinking the most stomach settling substance on the planet, and I feel nauseous to my. I feel like it's like I'm on the deck of a ship in a pitched storm. This is a nightmare.
The first time I did this, I laid down a bunch of paper towels, and I completely forgot that step this time.
Yeah, now you got a bunch of Dr. Pepper bean juice on your desk.
There we go. There we go. Yes.
It's not good.
No. I wonder if it's the pickle, the baked beans, or the Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. What's the ingredient that you really expected to do the heavy lifting in this concoction?
I was hoping that the sweetness of the Dr. Pepper baked beans would sort of cut the pickle more. But, like, I hate pickles. So,
there's your problem.
I'm going to be straight up. This is on you, buddy.
Found the issue.
This is on you, my man.
That was never going to be good if you don't like pickles. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a top to bottom. No! That's a top to bottom nightmare. Oh my God. So here's my question, Sam. You're running the Dr. Pepper Corporation.
Yes.
A guy comes into your office and goes, "Chief, you're never going to believe this.
Yes.
I just tracked down the opportunity of a lifetime. You know how our entire business model's been trying to catch up to Sprite and Pepsi. I mean, we dream, we talk about Coca-Cola, but even just to get up to, some of these other secondary, tertiary sodas.
Yeah.
I found a baked bean company that is looking. Now, hear me out, because these guys are straight up about to go out of business. They need a Hail Mary. They need a type of bean that's going to put them over the top. And I said, how about your flagging bean ship partners up with the 9th most popular soft drink in the tri-state area? Do you feel like you thumbs up that? You feel like you greenlight that?
I'm like, look, I just recently said that our employee base could spend 20% of their time doing whatever they wanted. This is the first big innovation to come out of that project. I'm like, I can't pull back now. It'll look like bad leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Sam
knows the struggle. Sam knows what it's like.
Let's do it. Let's do the beans. It very much strikes me as like two C teams getting together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like maybe with our combined efforts, we won't be last place.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, it was like the people in 8th and 9th were like, maybe we can get to 7th.
Yeah. God. Bleak. Very bleak. I just can't imagine.
Ask you, Brennan, about eating coffee beans raw, because I just did that, but maybe there's no reason why I was supposed to ask you that.
Well, I did. Well, I did. Well. I used to drink. I've been a little bit better about my coffee intake recently, but I am a bit of a hot lava, hot Java fiend, as they say. And I used to stay awake for days on end, and I don't recommend that. It's the longest I ever stayed awake for was 83 hours, which is too long. Did you just have? Speaking of now you've created a sort of little bird flipping Hank, a little avatar.
Yeah, that's just there for in case I need it later. Just sort of loading it up. Sorry.
For a moment, it looked like you were in a Let's Play where it's like you were playing the video game of yourself.
Yeah, the Bo Burnham's inside.
Yes. There you go. Exactly. But eating coffee beans is great. You got to eat coffee beans, especially if they're in chocolate. It's delicious.
Yeah, they were not as good without the chocolate. Maybe
was it that you accidentally
possibly?
Wow,
Brennan, good one. You accidentally ate something on Adventuring Academy, which was it? It was granular coffee. It was like instant coffee.
Oh, there was an Adventuring Academy that we did with Connie Chong, who is a delight, and I accidentally made them consume instant coffee. There were an assortment of snacks, and the snacks were not American snacks. And every so often, the instinct, the powerful embarrassment of how nakedly xenophobic most Americans are, how uninterested in geography, how uninterested in other cultures, America has, by virtue of being a superpower and having an incredibly large population, doesn't have any material force pushing us culturally to really get invested in learning about other cultures. So as someone that is not a fan of that and who loves people that celebrated that, like the Anthony Bourdains of the world, I saw some unfamiliar snacks, and I said, "Who am I to question some of these snacks if they come in a form or shape that's somewhat unfamiliar to me? Perhaps there will be a cake of an unusual shape, or a cookie of an unusual number, or perhaps for the very first time in my life, I will be encountering a dessert powder. I will be encountering a sweet, delicious dust, eaten dust, like you do." And I opened a little red packet, and I said, now a lot of red flags are going off, but could this not, my friend, simply be ignorance? And must we not embrace new experiences? And so I inhaled an entire packet of instant coffee and nearly died on camera.
I have a very similar story. was maybe one of the first dates I ever went on in my life. So I think it was between like freshman and sophomore year of college. We went out to a Vietnamese place. Me and a girl I had a big old crush on that didn't go anywhere, possibly because of what happened, which is we arrived to get some Vietnamese noodle soup, some pho, and before the soup comes out, they bring out the garnish. It's like jalapenos and bean sprouts and cilantro and some lime or something. And I just bust out my chopsticks and I start eating that salad. I'm just like, this is pretty dry, but I guess this is what you do. They bring you a salad before your soup gets here, and it's just a lot of cilantro with bean sprouts.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel for you very strongly there. When you started eating the dry jalapeno cilantro bean sprout, how did you, as things started to go more wrong in the sort of mouth area, did you keep it on the level with the date? Were you like, hey, things are going pretty well, or were you like, hey, I think I've made a big mouth error?
No, I said it's obviously all still in there. I said that I liked to try new things and just take in experiences as they come, and she said, I can really tell. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, that's not a salad. And I was like, oh, tell me more. And I mean, honestly, I think that I handled it well, and so did she.
That's about as well as you could have handled that. Yeah.
But I don't think that she liked me generally. She was so pretty.
Wow.
People are so beautiful.
They really are. People are really beautiful. Lots of people walking around here, really beautiful.
Yeah.
I went to an airport to travel for the first time, maybe like a year ago or something, first time post-pandemic. And Elaine and I parked, in a causeway. We were early for a flight, and we just watched people go by. It's the first time we had been like in an area with many people in so long. And I was just hypnotized by everyone's beauty. I mean, everyone, just the way we all lumber around differently.
It's wild.
The way we all move our bodies through space.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like a bunch of gawky, funny marionettes.
Yes. Wow. Beautiful. I do get very struck by that. The beauty of the human kaleidoscope, all the different things.
Is that what you guys were thinking when I was pretending to be a fly and doing a good job?
Pretty much. Yeah, I was like that is peak human performance. That is apex.
Like Usain Bolt. Like
yeah, Hank, I often think of you in the context of Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Little Hank, tear. I bombed out of a first date incredibly badly with a very gorgeous person back in New York. It was the biggest trap of all time. I got invited on a first date to hot yoga.
Oh, wow.
Strong move on this person's part, but I was like, hey, I got a wish in my heart and a song in my step, and let's do hot yoga with a stranger. And arrived at this first date. Again, it's someone that I was meeting for the first time at the date, right? Arrived, immediately the vibe was off. The hot yoga studio was above an anarchist bookstore. Everyone had very cool, chic little workout clothes. I was the only one there in basketball shorts. It was just the vibe. I missed the vibe. And I walked in, and they were pumping extra steam into the room. I sweat like I'm going to die every day, all the time, every day, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, and then continue to just sweat. So I walk in here, they're blasting steam in. It's like a sauna, and I go, "Here's where you die. You're gonna die in this room." And
so you can't leave. You're on a date. You have to just tough it out until you've dead.
And it was very funny because then this tiny little woman who looked like Richard Simmons jumped up on a box And she went, okay, this is hot yoga. It was the most culturally appropriate thing I've ever seen in my life. This tiny little hyper energetic white woman just screaming, this is hot yoga, but also it's a dance class. And she's like, if you want to do yoga, follow my instructions. If you want to dance and you feel moved to dance, you can dance. I know you're going to dance, Andrew. And she pointed to this guy who was like 5 foot. I'm describing like a David Lynch fever dream, but I swear to God, this happened. And she pointed to a dude who was 5'1". I'm just going to tell you what this dude looked like. It was what he looked like. He was like 5'1" guy, mostly bald head, but the back and around long ringlets of like orange ginger hair. And he was wearing a Venetian mask and a corset, and he was covered in glitter. And he immediately, once the music started prancing around, playfully whipping people in the class with a riding crop. And like everyone was in on it. And they're like, that's Andrew. What? And I was like, well, this is the next hour and a half of my life. I'm sweating like I'm going to pass out and die. And I'm getting whipped by Andrew in his Venetian mask.
And I'm over there in the corner, carefully putting beans into a banana.
That's right. That's where I saw you for the first time.
Well,
was there?
Well, the devil dances.
Well, the devil
dances and plays on a pan flute.
Yeah, truly wild.
What an absolutely bonkers idea for a first date.
Very weird.
Maybe in the sense of I want to know that this person at their worst immediately. That's the only rationalization I can come up with for it.
I've really enjoyed some yoga in the past. And it was very funny. I went here, and one of the things that she said as we were going in, like, she's like, I've often had many spiritual experiences here. And I did have a very deeply spiritual experience there, but it was
whipping.
A sort of playful gnome, a very small man covered in glitter, kind of playfully whipping me. And I did have a spiritual experience. It was just deeply Catholic. It was me staring at a clock going, you did this. You came here. You said yes. And now bad things are happening to you because you're bad. That's why. And I went, I see. Yes, it all makes sense. I deserve this. And that's how I was able to survive, I think. It was that's where I got to. That's the emotional plane I got to.
Yes. You rode Catholicism through the experience.
Through this hot yoga dancercise experience. And then I went downstairs and there was an insomnia cookies at the end of the block, and I walked out with this with my date.
Undo it.
With my date, and she was like, so what'd you think? And I was like, I can't really talk right now. And I just ordered a half dozen chocolate chip cookies and like 2 ice cold things of milk, shotgunned a thing of milk and a half. And she was like, oh, I eat a little bit healthier than that. And she's like, because she sort of like turned away the cookies, like, oh, I wouldn't do that. And I literally, my reaction was like, oh, did you want some? Like that was, like it was like I got this for me.
Was not for you.
I wasn't here for you.
Don't.
Look, I just did a somebody else thing. Now I'm doing me.
That's exactly the emotional state I was in. We just did your thing, which was whatever that was. Now we're doing my thing, which is 2 ice cold bottles of milk and 6 fresh baked cookies.
By the way, my thing is to undo your thing.
Yeah. Whatever that was, I gotta fill in the hole that made.
Yeah. So we didn't meet up again. It didn't go well. Yeah.
Oh. And now you're getting married.
And now I'm getting married. I'm glad it didn't work out.
A person who likes cookies.
God, she's the best. She loves cookies, and I love cookies too. It's awesome. It's great. Sam always really nicely sends these amazing cookies at the end of every like game changer or make some noise thing, and it's so sweet. This is the Brady's Bakery thing, right?
These cookies are the best. Man,
they're so good.
This is about to turn into accidental branded content, but
well, Dr. Pepper's already got more than their money's worth, so.
Yeah, I would put these like right up there with Dr. Pepper's baked beans, if not a bit above.
Yeah.
We had this incredible moment. We're in the middle of a two-parter on Game Changer. So a little bit of a spoiler alert, not too bad of a spoiler alert. But this Game Changer episode we're doing is we surprised College Humor dropout cast member Grant O'Brien with his own Bachelor. So we have 10 suitors battling it out for Grant's affection. And for the past many seasons of Game Changer, 3-4 seasons of Game Changer, I've got these cookies from Brady's Bakery. Were once recommended to me by a friend. I tried them. I went, these cookies are incredible. Queer owned and operated bakery. Sent them to the entire cast and department heads of the shoot. And then we're in the middle of taping the second episode of this Bachelor episode. And one of the contestants says, I own a bakery. And we're like, oh my gosh, you've been holding out on us. What's it called? And they said Brady's Bakery. And they had no idea that I had been ordering from them for so long. Oh, and I had no idea that they were the owner of Brady's Bakery. And we captured the whole thing on camera. And you can watch that in 3 days.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What a coincidence. Oh my God.
Craziest coincidence.
In Missoula, that would be like, oh.
You live in a town that's small enough and coincidence is
like,
just
no
longer.
Your husband runs the pizza place. Got it. Yeah.
Totally. It's just information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually recently walking on the trail. And I was like, oh, you're my neighbor. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, talk. And it was like, oh, you used to own the bakery. Oh, your daughter works at the Pilates studio I go to.
Yeah. I would love it. I would love it if my life was filled with that kind of intimacy and living in Los Angeles.
It's got its perks for sure. It's also it's also like, oh, I see that guy all the time. We don't get one time he yelled at me.
Yes, there is that too.
On the street because I put my car in a place he didn't like, and now whenever I see him, I think about that. There's a lady. She's a walker. She's walking she's always everywhere. It's good to be a walker. I didn't mean to say it was a bad thing, but she's out. She's always around. And one time, we were biking with our son in the trailer in the back, and she yelled at us, "That's insanity!" And I was like, "What?" And she was like, why would you put your child in that situation? And now I can't ever see her again because I'm just like, I won't because Catherine was like, mind your fucking business.
Yeah, honestly, totally.
And I was like, what? I'm just going to keep going like I do when the police try to pull me over.
Yeah. I knew I liked that.
I need to. Oh, yes.
No, go for it, Brennan.
No. I actually just texted Iz to see if I could tell a story about her, and I got a yes.
How nice of you to get permission.
That's nice of you. I just told
Izzy
Catherine without.
Yeah, Izzy and Catherine would get along really well. This is Izzy's the best. There was a very similar thing. So first of all, we have a neighbor across the hall that has also been very rude to us, and that was my first thing I thought when she was like yelled at us through her doors. I was like, what a short-sighted thing to do. We live here. We will know each other and be getting mail and walking in the door together for many long years to come. Why would you do something so reckless? But I was at a restaurant in the neighborhood, and I was sitting down with Izzy and two of her friends, and someone who was working at the restaurant came up and this is a very Los Angeles thing, like had an energy about them where they recognized myself and Izzy, and that's totally normal and great and fine. But there was sort of an energy. There's an energy people give off, I think, sometimes when they are like when they're like comedians, where there's a certain like jocular, over the top, like you can be a little bit exuberant. And this guy came up to us at the table, and he went, "Oh, it's like you have that D&D show, right? Like you run that D&D show. And when presented with that in life, you just I just went, "Oh, I do. Oh, that's thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, that's true." And he went, "I didn't say it was good." And he turned, and I went, "Ha ha ha!" Like, do the everything's okay laugh. And and Izzy at the top of her lungs went, "Don't fucking do that." And just really dressed this, like, was just like, it was very, and I remember it was like it was in that moment where someone had like come to say like a very needlessly mean thing. It was a very nice
there is a type of comfort that a person can feel around Isabella Roland where it's so much as if she has drunk a truth serum at any moment, that you just cannot feel that you are not getting her complete and total authenticity. That if something smelled bad, or if you were in any way, you would know.
Yeah. She is truly fearless. Like, especially, I would say, if we talk in the family, the like, she is 100% unafraid of people. People do not frighten her. And that is a tremendous gift. Weird. Like
people terrify me.
That's the thing.
We the scariest of all the things.
It's really funny. It's the exact. I feel the exact thing. We talk sometimes and say like, well, like Izzy is totally unafraid of people, and I'm not afraid of things. So I'll be like, yeah, let's go into the dark forest at night. That's fine. That's what you should do. You go be there. But I'm like disappointing someone's fabricated expectations of what I should do. I could never do that. I'm in hell. Please don't let me disappoint a person. So yeah, very, very afraid of people.
I'm afraid of people and things and places. I'm afraid of every category in 20 Questions.
Bread boxes.
They're sharp. They got sharp edges.
Anything could be in that bread box. They call it a bread box, but anything could be in there. Yeah,
it's true.
Afraid of the unknown.
I don't even like things that don't exist. I don't even know if they're there or not. That's the worst. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I want to look quick at how we're doing. We have reached now $637,000 raised. Anonymous says there's always money in the Banana Loca, which I like. Alexandra with $70 donation says, finally, I have disposable money for charity. Dispose of it. Michael says, love that Brennan and Sam are here. This last hour has been so casual and yet very engaging. That's kind of you guys' thing. You're good at that.
That's kind of our thing.
We do. We try. We
try. And Crumbly Square Theater says, Sam, where are you from?
Oh, God damn it.
Ooh.
God damn it.
Yeah.
See, I know that's a really fun bit, but actually, where are you from?
Brennan, I'm from hell. And I'm going to take you back home with me.
All right.
To meet the family.
There's another person who asks, what was the name of your childhood movie theater? Which appears to be a related bit.
Yeah, related bit. The worst thing about that bit is that I got it wrong in the episode, and it's a theater that doesn't exist. Because I said it was the Copley Square Theater, and that does not exist. I was forced to think of an answer off the top of my head. I bullshitted that answer. The truth is, it was Fresh Pond Cinemas in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Wow. is that something where you invented it in childhood and then kept it through adulthood, or you just fully misremembered as an adult?
It's not even that I misremembered as an adult. It's that I could not think of it, and so I made something up.
You just made something up. I also don't remember the name. It was at Fashion Square Mall. I remember the name of the mall, but not.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, like the AMC at Fashion Square Mall, probably.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Fashion
hard,
Square Mall.
It's hard to remember your childhood movie theater.
Gotta be a sad place now if it still exists.
100%.
I remember my childhood movie. It's not hard to remember your childhood movies.
Brennan,
you remember everything.
You were in boot camp from a very young age to remember like 9-syllable names of fake places.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't all have that training.
It was Ewok 42nd Street and also the Rosendale Theater were the childhood theaters. So, but I had a weird thing come up recently that was about childhood remembrance. I had one of those weird like memories that was sort of triggered where you like reopen, because I used to have this book of animal facts that I would bring on the school bus with me when I was in I was like a 4-year-old, like very, very little. And I would bring the book of animal facts and I would point to animal pictures and just say made up stuff. I would just be like, I pointed a chameleon and I would be like, this is a fire iguana and you only find them at the North Pole. Like just make up details about them. And I talked to my mom about it and I was like, I have this memory, but I somehow don't remember. I don't think I was lying. I just think I was wrong. But I knew that I was like making it up, so I didn't know how to put it. And talking to my mom about it, she was just like, well, maybe you just thought everybody that had ever told you a fact was also making it up and just thought that was the right way to be helpful.
That's what adults did. It's like, I can do
what adults
that
were
too.
Doing. Yeah, I can point at a picture and say a fun thing. I assume that's what we're all doing. But no, it actually has to be true, it turns out.
Teacher's like, here's some stuff I just made up. And I'm like, 2 could play at that game.
You know, it doesn't look like Fashion Square Mall is doing great, honestly. It's still there, doing its stuff. Weirdly, the Hot Topic storage is larger than the Hot Topic. I wonder what the Hot Topic is storing there. The world will never know. It's like twice the size of the Hot Topic. Maybe it's where they store everything for all the stores in Orlando.
It is comforting that the Hot Topic is alive and well.
I don't know about well.
Hank, how does that pickle full of Dr. Pepper beans feel in your belly?
Oh, I haven't been thinking about it. I've had a few stinky farts sitting here, but I don't know what that's related to.
You don't?
Yeah. If I were a betting man, I'd say the abomination against the Lord's will that you concocted on camera about 30 minutes ago. I can't imagine.
I really like the part where it pushes it out and like the whatever's on there like slides out on its own as it gets filled with the stuff.
Yeah, I know you like that part, Hank. I know you like that part. You featured it on camera on your charity live stream. Forced all these nice people donating money to watch the pure force energy of bean juice eject a pickle from an ovipositor. Mean-spirited.
All right, everybody, y'all, we have to make room for the schedule. Thank you for joining us. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go to a featured video at projectforawesome.com/featured. We're going to all watch that video together. And then when we come back, it won't be us anymore. It'll be someone else. If you were paying attention earlier, you know, I just put my hand in baked bean juice.